I was trying something different. It's getting a little bit different, getting more difficult. Got a host, try to learn these new things on Zoom. I'm trying to be great. So
Okay, I'm telling you, next time I'm gonna have a computer.
You're right. Well, you still want to work.
What you got to do to get one?
What I got to do to get one?
Yeah.
Stop being nasty.
So nasty.
I didn't say.
Oh my God! I'm glad that you think I can get a computer by doing that. I was just gonna get a meal.
Don't sell yourself
Meal.
short.
Oh, what kind of meal? Happy Meal?
I don't know. Some nuggets, the small fry.
All right. So, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Quantis is back from vacation, ain't you?
Oh no!
I'm still on vacation. I'm winding down.
He has a traveling laptop. He got so many laptops. He got one to travel with, just to go extra cameras, headphones, everything. He rich. My mom comment, get better. We're trying.
Look at that smile.
Okay, but everything good with you, Kaz, Renita, Yvonne? All y'all good?
Good.
Yvonne's muted.
Oh, she tell. I'm trying to. Okay, following my baby Kaz.
All right.
My baby.
All right. Well, since everybody's good, let's get into it today. Today's topic is the American dream. So we'll start with let's go with Kaz. What's your American dream?
Oh,
The times
I don't know. You know what, Quantis?
It's coming on right now.
I think for me, I just really, I don't know, want to have a little place of my own, be able to walk, have some freedom, right? Experience life.
Right.
Oh. What's she doing?
So that's your American dream? I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah,
right
just
there.
like
Stop.
I think for me, I guess for me, the American dream, it sounds weird. For me, I don't plan on staying in America. Like the American dream for me is being able to travel, to move, to see things, experiment life.
To get away from America.
That kind of is the American dream.
Why are you trying to run away? So many people trying to get into this country. Why you want to leave it? I appreciate the
I think it's there's so much more world to see. I think being born in the United States, we are very self-centered when it comes to the isolation that we get from the rest of the world. It's so much of the world to experience and see that we don't get to see it or know anything about it.
Yeah, but you're going to renounce your citizenship?
No, I'm not going to renounce I got my disability to keep getting.
Okay, he gonna take American disability dollars out of America. And
it's
put
not
them
American.
No.
It's not American. It's VA disability.
That's American military.
Listen, compensation that I'm required. They compensated me for my service that I gave them for 4 years.
I want to be compensated. That sounds like some type of violent sex move. Compensated.
Okay, that's what you want to do. His American dream, people, is to get out of America. All right, Yvonne, what's your American dream?
It's real nuanced, right? I can't think of an American dream that doesn't tie me to my past. So, it's like to right the wrongs of the past. We have to work on the future. And right now, my future ain't looking good in America. That's just, the reality of it. But I would like to have some land to grow my own food, to do whatever the hell I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. That's my American dream. Free. Because right now I pay too many damn taxes. Y'all see how much this gas is?
Ooh. Girl.
And the grocery store. I just came from out of the grocery store. That is not the American dream, to be paying triple double for some items that used to, used to be single. A gallon of milk is like $5 again. Oh, wait. Was it ever $5?
Gallon of milk, $5? What kind of milk you buying? No.
It was a cheap kind too.
That's not organic?
I don't know if you in America.
No, the organic milk is like $7 now.
I don't know.
I just came out the grocery store.
I don't drink milk.
$2.
Oh, it's $2 where you at?
Well, the milk.
It's not $2 here.
at all.
Right now, I'm in Alabama. The milk $2.
I don't know.
Wow.
Right. What's your American dream, Renita?
I think me myself. Like I had an encounter just recently at Cooper Hawk. My American dream is not to always pull the race card. I swear I pulled it.
What do you mean?
They made us wait an hour at Cooper Hawk. An hour to sit down at Cooper Hawk. The lady told us, well, they all had reservations. I noticed that we were the only people of color there. And that's the first thing I pulled was the race card. Not that they could have just been bad service. I was like, it's because we're Black. I don't always want to pull the race card. I want to take people for face value and just believe that some people are just assholes no matter what color they are.
Which Cooper's Hawk did you go to?
The one in Burr Ridge.
What the hell is
That's the one I went to, and I did not have a good experience.
Oh God, it's the race card.
Yeah, I didn't have a good experience. It was terrible.
I pulled it.
What is Cooper Hawks?
It's a
It's
winery.
a winery.
We got like a restaurant part you could eat at, but it's mostly they sell wine.
Oh.
I pulled it, Bonnie. I pulled it, but I felt some type of way because majority of the management is, let me see if I get this right, LBGQT.
Just say the alphabet, people.
Yeah, the alphabet people. And they came out and the girl was like, she looked like Davy from the Monkeys. And I was like, okay, you can't be gay and racist too. Choose a struggle. It can't be.
Yes, you can.
You cannot. No, you can't. I refuse to believe that. And so they were feeling for me, and they were like relating to me, and I'm like,
you gotta watch polls to learn that. You gotta watch polls.
How the fuck did they get more rights than me?
There's a bunch of gay racist people. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't disagree with you. They
get
are
more
out
rights.
here.
How do they get more rights than me?
They fought for them.
And so she came out and she was like, no, we're not like that. We'll send the food back. Black people don't send food back. Because we know what we would do. Black people don't send food back.
You do something to it, right?
So I'm like,
I'm not going to say per se, but we're not happy when folks send food back to the kitchen.
You're going to have to give me my refund. Give me my refund. I'm going to go somewhere
Right. I don't
else.
want you to do that. So
that's how I feel.
Yeah. So I didn't want to pull the race car. We waited an hour. The service was bad, but we did tip them. We did tip.
You tipped for bad service?
We tipped them to show that I guess we had some money. I don't know. I felt
what? I've done that before too. Like
good service.
When I first moved out here to Edina, which is predominantly white, the first restaurant I went to, I ordered something, and when I left, I just like tipped a ridiculous tip. So then the next time that I came, they were like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And that's how I got them to be like,
well, you bought it to the Americans.
Right? No, but you know what, Kaz?
They treat you differently.
I find
because they will not treat you. They will treat you. They will treat you like you don't belong there. If you show, hey, I got money just like you, I'm a regular person, they begin to treat you differently. And
that's the American dream, right? That's the American dream.
I don't want to be around them white motherfuckers.
No, I learned that. I learned to tip first, and I swear to God, the service is so much better.
Tip first.
I tip first. I come in the door. Hey, I ask the waitress or waiter what their name is.
You know, it's not a strip club, right?
I give it to them, baby. I have all the bread, all the napkins. Shit, they be hopping to it.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm gonna work on me. That's my I'm gonna work on not always trying to pull the race card because everything is not prejudice. Some people are just stupid.
I guess
bad service. If you get bad service at any rate, in any race.
What's your American dream, Dad?
He's not Dad.
Quantis. I switch between all of them. I do it. I do it sometimes. Grant, whichever one you want to be. I don't know.
There we go.
Can you say something? What do you got caught eating?
That's his American dream to be able to swallow.
You know when old people get to a certain age and they always just chewing on something. Old people.
First of all, y'all talking.
No, we asked you a question. You ain't say. I said, "What is your American dream?"
chewing on his
I'm
tongue.
not gonna refuse to answer a question when y'all babbling.
Ain't nobody babbling. We said go.
Yeah, it was Renita was talking, Kaz was talking, and then you tried to ask the question.
Now he acting like dad. Okay.
I'm gonna ask me a question. You're gonna do it.
Answer the question.
Uncle Grant. Uncle Grant.
I don't know who that is. All right. The American Dream. What is my version of the American Dream? I ain't never had an American Dream. To be honest. So I really don't know.
Who's somebody named Ronald said dollars in the apron stream.
My American Dream is to acknowledge this is not America.
So you don't have like math is real simple. I want like Yvonne said, I want some land. I need it, but I need it to be where my electric come from solar, my water come from out of the ground. I want everything off grid, and I don't want no taxes.
My American
no taxes. I ain't trying to
government possible.
Yeah, I don't care about like I'm comfortable with living around all black people, and I ain't trying to like fit in the suburbs with white folk or nothing like that. So that ain't never been my American dream.
I'm like Kaz. I want a global dream. I don't like the idea of American dream. America to me is a bunch of pious, pompous people who think they're better than everybody else.
You're American.
Why? Because I live here.
It's a nationality, yes. What are you talking? And you go anywhere in the world, you're going to be looked at as American. You might be a black American or something like that, but you're still American. And they don't like you the same way they don't like the white people here.
That's not necessarily true.
The earth don't.
America's polarizing. You're either gonna be loved somewhere or hated somewhere for being American.
We are managers of the planet. We don't. No, we're
not.
The planet. Okay.
He found another planet. What'd he say?
He thinks highly. I don't know I don't understand what he's trying to say.
I said we're managers of the planet. We don't own this planet.
Whatever. I don't know what they got to do with the American dream, but okay. Let's keep
moving. They got to do with the American dream because everybody else is believing in the lie of the American dream.
My damn PC.
In order for the American dream to happen, somebody else has to have a nightmare.
Ooh, that was deep.
No, but you gotta be like,
if you don't think that's the only way.
Deep. That was deep as fuck.
It is true. I think that's a lot of belief that people believe that in order for someone else to succeed, you got to step on other people. When
that's
there's plenty of this this is one of my core beliefs. If I'm sitting at the table and I'm eating, you're going to eat with me. If I invite you out with me, if I've invited you to come somewhere with me, and you're like, oh no, I don't got money. I don't really care about your financial situation. I've invited you to spend company with me because I want to spend company with you. And if I'm going to eat, how dare I sit and watch you search for crumbs? If I got it, I'll give it. And to me, that is my mentality in life. There's enough room at the table. There's enough pieces of pie for everybody. There's no reason for us to be fighting like we fighting.
Everywhere that this country has gone, they cause chaos and problems.
Yeah, but to an extent, I don't know, because you lean into a socialism, Kaz, and I don't know. I'm
not leaning towards socialism. I'm leaning towards
communism.
No, almost anarchy. Just let everybody live the way they want to live, man.
It'd be a hot ass mess.
Need all this. No, it would not. It wasn't no hot mess before all this big government. People lived in their areas, and that was it.
Okay, so before President Eisenhower instituted the interstate highway plan, you couldn't even drive from some states. Only the coastal states had good highways. What are you talking about? You do need big government.
Do you know something? Do you know something that the United States had that most people don't know about? You know how people got their houses and property and fulfilled the American dream? Something called squatters' rights. That's exactly how they got their property. That's why squatters' rights still exist to this day.
In Detroit.
People just moved to another area of town, confiscated that property, and it became theirs. And the property that they left, other people confiscated that property, and it became theirs. That's the American dream. Confiscate other people's stuff.
Yeah, that's what they did to the people that was living here. They confiscated their land. So
no. In essence, I'm an American legally, but in spirit, hell no. So I don't buy into the American dream.
Oh, come on. You ain't want the freedom of starting your own business. You can't do that in any country.
I take advantage of it's
you have to live in Russia, China.
It's a means to an end.
You don't want to go now.
But we're talking about dreaming and vision. This is not anything that's my desire.
This country, for the most part, outside of
is full of crap.
This is
just
true.
Because you have technology. Hell, they had technology to make nuclear power.
And I think, but see, Mally,
But
I
look
think
what they did with it.
That's part of the American deception, is that this country is just this majestic place. We are a developing nation. We are very far behind when it comes to our European counterparts, when it comes to some of our African counterparts and some of our South American counterparts, when it comes to healthcare, infrastructure, and so many other things. But we put out this narrative that we are the best place on earth, that you can come here and be anything you want. When we've got people living in poverty, people that don't have clean water, people that are homeless all over the place, and we have the highest prison population in the world. That doesn't sound like the best place of opportunity and freedom to me.
Don't have clean water. Why we got dirty water? You know why we got dirty water? Industry, industrial revolution. The water didn't start dirty. It got dirty because of dirty men. That's why it's dirty.
So give
and greed.
So
greed,
give me a better example. Give me a better example of what country you would rather live in.
You gotta blow this thing up and start all over.
No, another country.
You know what? Wait. Well, so many people coming and so many people, not so many people leaving. You know, you gotta give it to them. Come on, you don't have no retirement. You don't have no Social Security in Africa. In Africa, they have to take care of those elderly people. Unlike us, we have nurses.
You don't need no Social Security.
It depends on the
If you stop pillaging the land, if you stop taking all the resources out of the land, it's enough for everybody to live off.
Now, I will say this: them European countries, they give them people pensions. They give them people set up.
You know why the European countries can give people pensions? Because they pounced on people in Africa. They pounced on people in the Philippines. They pounced on people. Those Europeans that did all that. Why? Because they was tired of living with just a little and having one harvest a year.
Yeah, their museums got more stolen artifacts than anywhere in the world.
I'm not saying that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about some thieves.
And that's not my argument. My argument, the bottom line is that unfortunately in our global situation, someone is suffering. And that's why my dream is that people don't have to suffer in order to do it. And my quest to move to another country, and the research that I've been doing, one of the biggest things that I've been told as a Black American is to emphasize that I am Black and from America, that I'm not from South America, that I'm not from Africa, because they will treat me completely different. And I said, damn, I don't know how to feel about that. That means that I'm going to be afforded more opportunities and better treatment than my counterparts that are from Brazil and my counterparts that are from countries in Africa. That it's a moral issue that I'm still struggling with and dealing with as I'm planning on uprooting myself and moving to another country. How can I reconcile that?
That's the narrative. That's the same thing they do with other immigrants that come to this country. They do the same thing. They give, they have better opportunities to come here and start businesses and all of these things. It's like you look in our communities and see who owns businesses, who's able to do a lot of things, and it's usually immigrants from other countries. Not shitting on what they came here to do, but it's like, it's two Americas here, one for Black people and one for others. Mm-hmm. And we can't ignore that. And right now, that's the reckoning that America is dealing with, Black America.
And that's what I'm talking about. But I'm finding that I'll be treated better as a Black American in another country, but at the cost of the mistreatment of other Afro individuals from various places. Portugal, for a big example, conquered and imperialized Brazil. I'm going to be treated completely different than my Afro-Brazilian counterparts, with much more respect and dignity and everything else, because I'm Black and I'm American. And America has done a good job of creating this image of, Black people can be successful because you've got Black celebrities, and we had a Black president, and they look at those things because they don't know a lot about Black culture and everything else. And we are very voyeuristic. They do cultural tourism with African American culture. So there is that difference. And so the way that I'm trying to think of, how do I reconcile this? If I see, and that's been my thing, if you see something, say something. If I see mistreatment, I try to call it out. But I also understand, like, I'm also seeing this really woke, on the woke spectrum. You got people saying, well, it's almost like you can't do shit, because everything is the benefit of white supremacy and imperialism in today's world. There's just no way that you escape that. Zero way that you escape.
But it's still a way you can carve out your own American dream without having to shit on people. It doesn't have to be done bad.
See, and I have a glow. I don't think I think that's the idea for me, is stop talking about the American dream, talk about the global dream. We all live on this planet together.
You're American first, and
no, I'm a human first.
I'm a human first.
I'm a human being first.
If you was caught in another country right now, you'd be screaming and running to a U.S. embassy if something broke out.
Not the human embassy, huh?
Yeah, so that's who the fuck
protects. There's no such thing as
you're a goddamn American.
You're going to the American.
If you anywhere, if it's an African country or a European country like Ukraine right now, you'll be running to the U.S. embassy.
If I have an opportunity to use my privilege to protect someone else, I will do it. There were people that were just the current crisis. People were escaping the crisis and they were blocking African students from getting, and the lady said, no, that's my husband. She used her privilege to bring this other person aboard so that they could escape this war. So yes, I'm American, but I'm a human being first. And I could choose just to run to an embassy, or I could choose to use my American privilege to help right some wrongs. And I think that's the thinking that a lot of people need to begin to have. How even as we talk about white privilege all the time, but we have privilege just by living in a first world country. So how do you use your position of privilege to better other people's? And that's what we need to reconcile.
How you gonna do that without making your position better? So you got to dream as an American and make money and shit first. You can't change the world, bro.
No, I'm not saying that you can.
Just can't. Unless you're really good at galvanizing people and getting people.
I don't think I can change the world. I don't think I can change the world in the United States. I think the best opportunity for me to change the world in the United States is for me to move to Europe. That is the biggest. And the reason why I believe that is because all of my idols, all of the people that I look up to did that same thing. And their careers thrived because they picked up, moved to Europe, and they changed a culture and galvanized and changed popular culture. It's very successful.
Let's see how to go. But okay, Yvonne, back to your other point. You had made a point about the other immigrants coming in. That's still a little different because Black people sold them stores to them people. First off, a lot of the times they let them in the neighborhood, sold them the property, third and second generation, because what you'll see with they same offspring, once you get to second and third and fourth generation American, people get lazier. I'm just sorry. That's just our mentality. So you getting a person with a set mind that's coming across a border or flying overseas to get to the country, and they're really motivated to start a business or something like that, and they work for less, and they come from a different environment, just like the Black people in the Industrial Revolution that came to the Midwest and the Rust Belt and outworked every white person. And they didn't like them, or the Black people that was already there. This is just how people are motivated that come from nothing.
It's bigger than motivation, though, because if I'm Black and I want to start a business, I have less opportunities to do that. Their government is going to give me less incentives than they would immigrants. But we fighting, it's not an immigrant versus Black people. That's not the issue.
No, it's not. I was just pointing out something. And here's the thing that I want to also point out is how they get identified once they get here. You know, if they're, for example, Arab on any business applications to get loans or anything, if they have to go through banks, because that's a different thing too. They get to select
they
white.
Come over with a lot of money to put a collateral down too, though.
And they work with each other. That's the other thing. You know, I read a book, Amos Wilson, he wrote, I don't know the name of the book right off the top of my head, but he talked about how everybody works together. Oh, here it is. It's in my view. So the falsification of African consciousness, Eurocentric history, psychiatry, and the politics of white supremacy. And so in this book, he talks about how other immigrants work together. They pull their resources together, their money. And so what they do is they build businesses. They'll get one, and then the next person that gets in line, they get the other one. So they help each other, you know, get to where they want to be. And he said, everybody does this except for Black people. And I can't disagree because.
But I'm gonna tell you why that happens, Yvonne. That happens because somewhere down the line. Now, I grew up seeing Black businesses. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. I saw Black businesses all over me. I grew up in Chatham.
Me too.
It was plenty of Black businesses. However, when a lot of Black leaders got assassinated and the riots happened and then welfare came out, it caused people to be dependent upon the system. And that was just one of the ways. But the other thing is this. I think that when I believe this, when integration happened, Black people pretty much wanted to prove that they fit in and went after professional jobs and the fake American dream of go to college, get a professional job, not knowing that the systemic racism exists in those fields. So instead of people trying to empower themselves like we did in having Black Wall Street and having Rosewood and building our own towns, because Black people did that same things that other people do now, they bought into the lie of the American dream of go to college, get a good job, become a professional, not realizing that the scales was tilted. So
it's people that did that path perfectly, and they worked out fine for them.
The scales were tilted. We built Black Wall Street.
But look at it, Malachi. Look at what happened. Look at what happened though. The civil service jobs. People used to go into the post office. A lot of those jobs, becoming a policeman, becoming a school teacher. That's not the way to go anymore. So people are going to school to become teachers and doctors and lawyers, and their doggone school bill, the student loans is exceeding hell.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So that's not viable right now. It's not sustainable. But that was the path that we chose.
Well, that gets into government theory.
Other countries, the immigrants don't do that, even though you do see people from India, Pakistan, but they still use it as a means to an end. Even though they're becoming professionals, they still open up their own businesses.
Yeah, I think what you got to understand is
but hold on. Let me first off, let me explain. So it's a theory going on with why the college that is like that. College tuition has grown at a rate way past inflation. It's quadrupled in numerous. Part of this is what some people, right wingers, might believe. When they created the Pell Grants and the loan systems, colleges knew that much more money was available, so they rose the rates to try to keep up with it. The legacy admits is gonna get in no matter what. Their parents bought a building to the schools, so they're just gonna get in for free and get and outside of a real good scholarship, you're gonna end up having to pay. You have to pay a lot, but that's what a lot of people think it is. So I don't think it's necessarily the dream, and the government might have had the right intentions when they made those programs, but you got to call out the corruption at the universities and academia, and they are wasting way too much money on administrative stuff. Like the number of administrative jobs have quadrupled. It's really about professors and students at the end of the day, and you don't need all that other crap that they couple with it.
So how did you avoid the pit holes in student loans?
I got some student loans, but I got I don't have as much as normal people because I had scholarships, and then I transferred from 2-year, so it's cheaper.
Which is my point that I was getting to. A lot of immigrants that do come over here come on education visas that we recruit and give them scholarships. And the big thing is that there's so much scholarship money out there that a lot of minorities are not privy to, that don't even know exists. Even with the GI Bill, so many veterans do not take advantage of the GI Bill, which pays for your education outright. millions of dollars just sitting there. They don't take advantage of it. But what I wanted to get
school
to,
ain't for everybody.
what I want, but this is not just school. It's for trades. It's for things to start your own business. There are tons of resources out there as a veteran. I'll get into that later. But what I want to get into is that we're in the 20s. And what I've started to see, and I don't know if it's a religious atmosphere, cosmic thing, I'm noticing very similar trends from the 20s, from the 1920s to the 2020s. I believe we're in our Black Harlem Renaissance movement. I'm starting to see more Black entrepreneurs now in my whole entire than I've seen in my whole entire life. So although there was that generation divide and gap, because we built Black Wall Street and that was destroyed. We saw all these things, everything we tried to do was destroyed. So we said, well, being a Black person, well, let's try something else. And now we've seen this, and Black women are like the number one people affected by student debt. They're like, okay, fuck this. Let's try to do something else.
Per capita, not
just
overall.
Not just that. I'm starting in my journey to begin my Black sit. I've started to see so many Black entrepreneurs leaving the States and building corporations and businesses outside of America and begin to live lives of luxury.
Let me ask you
and the first thing, I want to finish this last thing. And the first thing that they do say is that they lie to us. When they talk about the American dream, when they talk about what they've been taught here, then they realize when they get a taste of the world, they said, damn, they lied to us. They've been holding this secret out on us.
So Kaz, are these entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs?
What are you talking about?
You got a lot of people that are authentic entrepreneurs, and then you got a lot of people.
You got a lot of them. You got a lot of them pop-ups.
Entrepreneur niggas. They just got a pop-up and they ain't really.
Believe
They'll
me,
never get the PPP loan. Don't matter.
When Biden announced it,
believe me,
PPP division. That what did he call? He called it. We're gonna have a.
Believe me, the white people got way more scams. I'm telling you, it's not even close. Black people ain't even touching it.
They got Facebook.
They don't let us get them. By the time we learn about the scams, it's a wrap.
What the hell do you mean?
So did we say we know people with PPE loans?
Hold on. What you need?
That didn't need them? Is that what we said?
What you need, Wes?
No, they needed them. That's the closest thing niggas got to reparations. Shout out to anybody that stole PPP money. Get your money, man.
Be careful.
They ain't gave us shit.
Be careful, because there's
get another one. If you can get another one, get another
one. There's a whole lot of money in this mother.
I know. Just don't waste it on empowering white business.
Just don't get
make sure you got the fake paperwork to go with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta do this shit, man. Live your life.
You need a fake.
I'm always gonna defend Black people. Always.
Yeah, but they gotta have fake paperwork.
The funniest thing is that the Black people had hired one Black person to fill out everybody's stuff, and they got a cut of it.
That's just a few people.
Oh wait, what happened?
It's like
way more.
They did. Oh, she'll fill out the paperwork for you, but she need like $75.
You're on a real scam. I read the article on the PPP. 80% of that money went to rich people.
A lot of them did.
That's who scammed it, not the poor people. So stop trying to lie on niggas.
I'm not.
The white people took all the money. Shit.
No, it's not. There's still tons of money to go out.
I heard millions of dollars that was getting taken.
80% of the benefits from the PPP program went to rich people. The top 1%.
We got proof.
It went to their pet.
It's an article.
They know how to do that shit. It went to their pet. Their pets had business.
They didn't use it for what they would say they was gonna use it for. It's terrible.
No, and a lot of them are getting caught, especially here in Minnesota. I've been reading a couple.
White people.
Yeah.
There's people that got millions of dollars in loans. Rich white people.
They will. You know,
white people get caught.
One thing I will say about Minnesota, they will catch white people doing the fraud. They will.
And you know what? The hell with all of them, because the military gets per year? $750 billion per fiscal year.
Yeah, they got a lot of money.
That is like the biggest freaking ripoff you ever want to see in your life.
Don't get me
started. It's gonna go. You see how much money they sent Ukraine already?
Who they fighting?
They just
and the poor men, the women and men only get out of a quarter of that. They one quarter
Listen,
they get
you got
5.1 a nickel.
you got
So 20
active-
cents goes to the big guys, and then a nickel goes to the
you
men.
People
got
that's out here
active
fighting.
service people in the military that are on food stamps
That's
Wait.
ridiculous.
and government assistance. And that's why when you talk about I want to get money, I'm owed this money. I'm owed this compensation.
Who did
It's
money?
my money.
You know what? This dude is such a advocate for this type of stuff that he thinks he should get a stipend for furniture just because he's fat. Like he literally said that to me before.
Because you know why? You know why?
Come on.
I saw my doctor yesterday. I went to see my doctor. He's like, 401 pounds. He's like, what is the lowest weight you've been as an adult? I said 205 pounds. That man almost had a heart attack. He couldn't believe me. He's like, what happened? I said, look at the records. I said, y'all put me on that antidepressants and started gaining 10 pounds a week. I'm depressed. I got the PTSD. It's all mental health related. So if it's connected to my service disability, I should get some furniture.
So, okay. So do you believe in private property? Or are you a communist?
I'm not a communist. I believe that there are certain,
what did one of the communists propose? You think it should be a billionaire cap?
Let me tell you what I believe. I'm going to tell you this. I believe that there are certain requirements that human beings are guaranteed as rights. We are offered the right that it doesn't mean everybody needs to be a millionaire, but we should not have people in this world starving, without clean water, or homeless. That should just not be. We should not have people that don't have access to healthcare. We should not have people that don't have access to education if they want to go to school. That's the bare minimum of what we need to be providing to human beings. Anything you want to build in capitalism and work in business, my problem with capitalism is that you're making billions on people dying. And that's a moral, ethical issue for me. You cannot do that. And if you can't become a billionaire without making someone else die, that's not right.
I don't think anybody.
I'm not against capitalism. I'm not against capitalism, but I'm for making sure there is a basic level of needs met for human beings.
Okay.
A social safety net.
And once that basic level of human needs are met, those people can then begin to go.
And that basic level should include furniture for fat people.
Well, if you get
it should include.
Yes, I believe in it. I believe in it.
You
I
know
like
how
fat
much a
guys.
good chair
Who's gonna
costs?
pay for that shit?
I date fat guys. Somebody needs to pay.
Amazon paid no taxes. What are you talking about? We got all these the gas companies are raising up the price because
do you know how many jobs Amazon creates?
But no, they're making record profits. Do you know how shitty they treat their workers?
If they made profits, they couldn't pay taxes.
$15 an hour is nothing. You can't afford a one-bedroom apartment on $15 an hour.
They're more than the minimum wage.
Amazon is paying, from what I hear, their wages. It's not 15.
No, their wages are fine.
I know somebody making 20.
Yeah,
they're mostly in the.
It's not their wages.
I make $20 an hour. I'm still struggling. I make over 20. Well, I got 2 jobs in disability, and I'm still struggling. That's not counting for inflation, and it doesn't count for the fact that all these people died during this pandemic, and all these businesses made record profits. Yet they want to tell us they've got to raise the price of milk. They got to raise the price of gas because of X, Y, and Z. No, you got to raise that price so that you can continue to keep getting your bonus. And that's my qualm. You can get your bonus as long as you're not.
No, but the problem with Amazon is not its wages. They do got bad workplace conditions, though. It's not their wages. They raised their wages a few years back. Could they pay more? Yes, but they have a high demand.
Yeah, but Amazon contributes more to job growth and creation to this country.
Well, the reason they don't pay taxes is the way
my thing is this. I'm for more accountability from the government. That's where there's a lot of fat and waste. Is that Amazon is a private business, okay? But the government wastes our money, man. They waste our money.
Private person, why am I paying taxes and Amazon isn't?
Because Amazon is a job creator.
Amazon does.
How do you know I can't?
Wait. Let me explain why they don't pay taxes. Because the way our tax code works is if you have more expenses than revenue coming in, you don't pay tax. That's just the way our tax code works. So they spend all their money on workers or new equipment and investing in it. As long as you keep investing in your company, the government will not ask you for taxes if it break even 0 to 0.
Get my package here in 4 hours.
No, I'm just saying that's why they don't pay. People say don't pay taxes like they made a profit and then didn't pay taxes. And they don't like their workers got to pay taxes. The people at the top, like if they pay them $1 million, they got to pay the taxes on that $1 million. But other than that,
I got a question. Then I got a question.
I mean, there's people that live paycheck to paycheck that make a certain amount of money and their expenses exceed their income, yet they still have to pay taxes.
If they were 1099 employee, they wouldn't.
I'm talking about regular employees.
They're W-2 employees, so they got to pay their payroll taxes. If they got a certain amount of kids and all that stuff offsets, they might get credits back. 50% of the nation don't pay taxes at all. So tell the truth. Outside of sales tax. Tell the truth. Most people do not pay taxes.
And do you know
you don't ever get a refund on your taxes?
Yvonne has a question.
That's the government giving you all your money back. They saying
no, it's not all my money back. I don't.
Yvonne has a question, moderator.
Go ahead.
My baby have a question.
Thank you, Quantis.
Oh God.
So I was just thinking while you were speaking and we're talking about Amazon and the reason why they don't pay taxes and the breaks that they get. And this kind of goes in line with what you have here for us, for the panelists. And one of the questions that you have is how many people get out of the mud to pull themselves up by the bootstraps? And what is the percentage of people that get a fair shot to live up to their full potential? Now, if we're gonna give Amazon some credit, I wanna know if they're paying their employees enough so that they can pull themselves up by their bootstraps and then work to their full potential. So if we're talking about full potential and you're asking people, what does that look like? You know, most people will say they want to be comfortable where they don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, where they don't have to be concerned about how much the gas that went up or how much the food costs. So most of the people, you say Amazon is a job creator and a lot of people work for Amazon. Now, why isn't Amazon paying them enough so that they don't have to depend on still government assistance?
They pay more than Walmart. They pay more than Walmart than most of us. They pay more than,
but it's still not enough. That's what I'm saying. It's still not enough. They still have to go on public assistance. And so it's like the government is helping both of them. The government is helping Amazon and the government is helping the people. So the government to me has gotten really big because now it's helping two people instead of one. So if they're going to help Amazon, they give Amazon, they got the breaks to give people enough so that they won't be living paycheck to paycheck. Please explain it.
Okay, so what has happened to our country? You're talking about a way big more systemic issue that's gone. It's been a race to the bottom since supply side economics took over in about 1980 when Reagan was president. So what's happened is he bust up a lot of unions. Unions used to negotiate more for that stuff like that. And ever since then, corporations jump state to state to go where the lowest wages are. So they get tax breaks to go to this city or that city and things like that. So yeah, they do got us captured. But is at the same time, do you want to change the policy to tax the hell out of a company that has innovated the way we do things? Is it some more archaic companies like Walmart probably should be taxed a little different because what are they really doing? Right, but like a company that's changed.
They claim the same thing that Amazon claims. That they
no. Hold on. You need to do your research. Amazon. I mean, they create. They are the number one job creator.
Amazon's not a great. They're not the best corporation.
Amazon is all up on Amazon's dick like Jeff Bezos writing you a check. But all I'm saying is this: I'm all for create the jobs.
Yeah, but the wages between Amazon and Walmart are ridiculous.
I want you to understand this. There should not be billionaires in this world. Do you know that Jeff Bezos is up there?
That's a whole nother. I'm not for capping people's money, man.
Yeah, me neither.
But why not? Why not? You ain't gonna spend $1 billion in your life.
That's not the problem.
Because
government reform is the problem.
You know what?
That's one of the biggest problems that we have.
It would not be a problem if we didn't have people dying. It would not be a problem if people didn't have homes.
Okay. The military, which you so love, almost 3/4
Who said I love it?
of our
I think
tax
there's
money
tons-
goes to that
I
mess.
literally,
That's ridiculous.
I literally just said there are servicemen and women that are on welfare because of misappropriations on from the military. Please don't say
$750 billion
yes, there's
every fiscal year.
misappropriation. There's
Too much money.
And guess why though? Guess where it's going? You want to know where it's going?
To the military.
No. You want to know where it's going? It's going to the private sector. It's going to
I already said that. He's coming up with a freaking revelation. I already said it an hour ago. What are you talking about?
We shouldn't put caps on private entities. We shouldn't tax private entities. It's a damn
has nothing to do.
This is what I was telling you. That's what I was trying to tell you. The problem with somebody government. Calm down. Somebody wrote in the comments.
Not a calm down. That's the truth.
I'm talking about something somebody wrote in the comments. Chill out. I don't care what y'all arguing about. Y'all squabbles y'all have all the time.
He don't know what he's talking about.
This person is talking about Amazon specifically. They say they don't give them long enough to use the bathroom. I told you the problem is more workplace conditions. So there's a lot of them drivers with pee in bags and things like that. So that's more the issue with Amazon, not the pay. They work the hell out of their workers. And like don't give them much time and stuff like that. So that's more of the issue with Amazon. It's not the wages.
Slavery.
They do.
Careful with that word. Careful with the word.
Capitalism is modern day. So we work 40 hours a week, and some people that work in those industries work over 40 hours a week. We buy homes that we don't even get to enjoy. We work to die. You 61 and barely can live.
Who controls all that?
I know.
My thing is this. Now, let me say this.
Wait, you want to talk about how to play? You want to talk about you can't cut me off. You want to talk about how the government is doing all of this, but the government is doing it for private corporations. Private corporations run the government. And that's what you're not understanding. Private corporations,
no kidding,
run the government.
They call it a kleptocracy. Y'all yelling.
You want to be mad at the government?
I'm not yelling, Malachi. I'm trying to get a word in. First of all, he's being redundant. He's not explaining himself. Okay. The fact of the matter is, he's talking about controlling private industry, which you and I both are against. The private industry can't make that money off the government if the government doesn't sign those contracts.
The government signs those contracts because private corporations run the government. Believe that.
So what did I say that we needed? We needed government reform.
Not necessarily. You got to be careful. So it's not totally a kleptocracy. Yes, they run it through political donations.
And they run it through influence.
All I'm saying is more than that.
They run it through influence.
They don't per se run it directly.
If you're going to answer Malachi, answer it correctly then. Since you won't give me a chance to answer it, if you're going to moderate it, moderate. You understand that the problem is the government sets the parameters. I don't care what influence you have.
And he's saying the government is corrupt because of the donations from the law.
Then how do you fix it? You reform the government.
You move to another fucking country and
you don't cap private industry. You reform the stupid laws that's in the government that allow them to do that. First of all, private organizations should not be able to donate endless amounts of money to campaigns. You need campaign reform. Why is a millionaire running for an office that only pays $100,000 a year anyway? That's the problem.
Because it's a powerful office.
Because it's a systemic issue in the government. It's not the private industry. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so what do you think about past
government? All the retired politicians go.
Whatever.
Where do they end up? They end up sitting on private corporation boards. They end up working as consultants for private corporations. So how do you fix that, Kaz? They are two in the same. And if you want to fix the government, you've got to fix private corporations. You cannot do one without the other. They are two in the same. And if you don't believe that, you don't have to.
We're going to table this one because this is going to just be back and forth all day. All right, Renita. Renita, what do you think about a government policy like affirmative action? Yeah, I gave you a hard one.
I hate government.
You what?
I don't talk about government.
You don't like government?
I don't like the government.
So what about reparations?
Okay, I like that.
What should that look like? What should reparations look like to you? Is that on the government to actually institute something like that?
Yeah, they would have to institute, right. Back to government. Oh.
How do you
40 acres and a mule. I'll start with that.
tractor now? No, mule obsolete. There she go with that.
Again,
What do you
government
think
has
about
to
it?
be the one to make that happen.
What is your
What's that
obsession
noise?
with hot dogs?
I don't know. Yvonne, what do you think about affirmative action?
Man, it's
You know, it's like a Supreme Court decision coming up on that. Like it's a white kid suing because they feel like they couldn't get into a school because of affirmative action. So like the
Oh.
yeah, it's very nuanced, especially since they say times have changed, but nothing's really changed. And so when we start picking at things like affirmative action, I don't know, it's going back to separation. Because my sons went to HBCU, Jackson State, and I saw Asian, Caucasian, and Latino children at the university, and they got in on scholarships, for baseball, some of them, and some different other programs. But when they did get in, they got money because of those things. So not only did they get the scholarships, the affirmative action, it did apply to them because of the school that they went to.
That wouldn't be affirmative action. Affirmative action would be more like forcing a school to emit a certain quota or amount from a certain demographic. Mm-hmm. That they sound like they just was giving scholarships because they couldn't find they needed the best baseball players. Sports stuff is usually pretty fair for the most part.
That's not how I looked at it, because the school that Jackson State has some issues and they're working on it. But to me, for those particular people that were at the university, the things that they were experiencing while they were there, they wouldn't have signed up for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. It was okay for our children to go, experience when Jackson State had the housing problem, and they were just putting children anywhere, and they were sleeping in their cars. And my son had a room, water was running to the floor, it was mold everywhere. So it's like when you're in those type of environments, it's like, well, I'm just going to go for the best possible solution. And the best possible solution was to go to this university because they were giving them money to come there. They were the people that they were trying to bring in to diversify the university. It wasn't still just about the sports, because then they could have just got this scholarship money. But then so
let me clarify. So you saying you feel like they was wasting money on bringing other people in when they should have been fixing the school? Is that what you're trying to say? What's your argument?
I mean, the money, for me, the college is expensive anyway, right? But when you got problems and issues with the people that's already there, and you bring in other people in to the university to diversify the university, the money could have been spent someplace else.
Well, but this is the other part you got to understand about scholarships too. They're not giving them real money. They're just not charging them money. So it's really they're not handing out real money. At the end of the day, it's just like, just come here and we won't charge you and give you a bill. So it's easier for them to give away a scholarship to a place that they just not going. They're like, all right, they're just gonna waive it. It's like if you're selling charger bases and you already got it in stock, you're not. If you can get money, if you can get scholarship money and come in under affirmative action, you're getting a refund. So it is money.
First of all, I think it's too much. I think the whole school system thing, even including universities, needs to be reformed. College should be a public option. It should be a public option. People should have the option to go to college for free.
Did you see that?
Why are you gonna make them private institutions do stuff? I thought we were all for private businesses and private for profit.
All colleges don't have to be.
I think he's just talking about the public ones, like Bernie Sanders.
Okay, yeah, the public ones, because we got public colleges.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go to one.
But people should have the option to go to a college for free, just like high school. You should have that public option.
And keep your own
I don't
talent
see
in
a
your
problem with
state. Keep your own talent in your state.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Illinois-
I don't think I would classify that as affirmative action, bringing Latin kids into a black.
I
school
think
that was,
affirmative action is
HBCU.
kind of dated right now. I don't think we
No,
need
it's-
that. I prefer that we eliminate affirmative action because we need to learn how to come back to us, create our own schools. Look, man, that's why black schools was created in the first place, because they weren't giving us the opportunities to go to their schools. It's just like the athletes now. Now black athletes are waking up. They're starting to go to the HBCU schools now, the top star athletes. Why? Because we've been giving them our best resources to the white schools. We could take those same resources and go to our schools. So guess what, white man? I don't want none of your stuff. Don't affirm nothing. That'll force us to create our own wealth.
Yeah,
I
but
really don't care nothing about their crumbs. I don't care nothing about their crumbs. We can create our own wealth. I'm not looking behind it. I'm not trying to go to Europe and find behind some white man and all that kind of stuff.
Think about
Let's create our own stuff.
Think about affirmative actions from this perspective, Quantis. So, like, you was building a basketball team. Would you build it with all of the same type of player? No, right?
If I was trying to get into sports, I would get all black guys.
No, I'm not talking about nothing to do with color. A roster. Would you build it with like all shooters or all rebounders or all? You wouldn't.
Of course not.
Okay, and this is all what the objective of affirmative action was. It was to force people to diversify, because black people they might not be able to score as high as on a test to get to the school, but they bring in something in a different kind of experience. That's all affirmative action is, and the goal
messing with these people for thousands of years. They're not going to change. You know why? Because they're concerned about the survival of their race.
But the affirmative action. Then why are the conservatives fighting so hard against affirmative action if it's such a good bad thing?
These people are concerned about surviving, man. Do you realize if we keep allowing integration and blending, eventually the white race will be sucked
We're going to get a bunch of Quantises.
Exactly. They're concerned. The biggest scare for them is assimilation. That's their biggest scare.
Assimilation? What are you talking about? They want us to assimilate.
No. If we keep assimilating, ain't going to be no more white people.
What? If they allow diversity, we get to keep our own identity.
There's going to be no more white people.
I don't know.
In a couple hundred years, white people will go. Look at America. Look at the complexion of America now. Mm-hmm. It used to be indigenous people. Now look what it looks like. The same thing happened to Egypt. The same thing happened to Greece. The same thing happened to Ethiopia. The same thing happened to the Middle East. It went from dark hue to lighter hue, eventually brown. And the same thing is going to happen to white folks.
I don't think that.
They're trying to survive, Malachi. They have a weaker gene.
Yeah, but you way off topic. Like, what does this have to do?
I'm not off topic. You dig deeper.
No, I'm not trying to have that conversation. You taking the conversation into something that has nothing to do with anything right now. We talking about American dreaming and what could we do?
The depth of your intelligence can't grasp what I'm saying.
I think you can't grasp regular concepts. You're just twisting stuff up. I'm just like,
I play chess, not checkers.
No, you're not playing neither. You just throwing cards on the floor.
He's playing Chinese checkers right now with the marbles.
Got their cards on the floor.
All them damn marbles over the place.
You tried to. What's it? Candace Owens, like she thinks she's smart. I'm like, will you really listen to her? She's kind of stupid. What? This is like okay, but all right. Oh, I'm hot. I need to turn my heat off. So, Renita, what is more important? Learning a lot of stuff and knowing things, or knowing the right people?
Knowing the right people.
You gotta know something. So you could just be dumb as hell.
No, knowing the right people.
You could.
That's how you get. Look, that's how you become a politician. Knowing the right people. Knowing the right people, and then eventually you'll learn stuff. So knowing the right people.
So you rather know the right person and learn the stuff later?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because you know what? It's a lot of people. Let's go back to college.
That's why America messed up.
Let's go back to college. It's a lot of people came out of college. They think they know the right stuff, but they don't know the right people to get to where they need to be.
You just explained the problem with the word today.
How you think Renita got on this show?
Knowing the right people.
She knew the right people.
If it wasn't for Grant Seed.
Who?
You, nigga.
I ain't his seed. I don't think that's how it works.
Right people.
Knowing the right.
I'm sorry. It may not be the right thing. It be so many people that get overlooked. You know, it's a Shackman law in county. Okay, they created the Shackman law because this gentleman kept getting overlooked for position. He qualified like a motherfucker, but because Stroger and everybody else had to do something with Mayor Daley and they had to shake hands, this, that, and the other, everybody was getting in but him. It's about who you know.
Well, it's about what they knew. They knew what to do.
No, it's about who you know, not what you know.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot of stupid
I'm not
people
saying it's right,
position.
but
I
I'm
mean, let's
telling
look
you.
at that past administration. It's about who you know and not what you know. And it may not be
diddly squat,
what past administration.
These people don't. They don't.
We're not gonna get into that, but the past.
A lot of people just wouldn't work for him. That's
it's about who you know and
who
not
you
what
know.
you know.
I wish I
Trump,
had known.
It's Trump didn't know nothing.
Nothing. But guess what? They were so happy when he got in because they was like, okay.
And neither did his cabinet. His cabinet was all jacked up and crazy. It's you can't sit up here and tell me it's not about who you know.
That never died before.
Your qualifications do not matter at all.
You know, you do. They do train you to do the job. So whether you know the job or not, somebody going in, they got to train you.
That's what I tell people when they're filling out applications now for county because of the Shackman law. It's like eHarmony. Whatever the position calls for, you need to have those words clearly put into your resume.
Why do you think letters of recommendation exist? Because it's about who you know, who knows you.
That's a good thing.
Remember, we used to run a construction company. Ain't nobody in the world gonna give Makari a job. Nobody. But Boba.
Yeah, man.
That man, it was who he know. Who gonna hire a heroin? Come on, man.
You know.
It's sad.
Stop telling that man business.
So sad for these kids getting out of college. It's sad. It's who he know.
Okay, so why the we like to think that the American dream is like you're supposed to do all this, go to school, do this. You don't got to know nobody. You just got to learn everything, do the right thing, and it'll work, right?
Look at your brother, BQ. BQ had an excellent job, man. BQ.
Don't talk about BQ right now.
Working in the laboratory.
Who you know can get a lot of stuff done.
Who you know?
It's sad. It's sad. It's not right, but it's
well,
what happens.
This one went off the rails to try to wrap this up today.
and Kaz be putting
my first dose of having a Quantis Kaz argument back. It's hard. A lot of yelling in your ear you can't hear. But let's wrap.
You got your headphones set on deaf mute.
Yes, it hurts. It hurts when you guys yell a lot. It really, really hurts.
Y'all need to fix my background. It's backwards.
He got the disco ball mic.
Who, me?
That mic is big.
I don't know, but let's wrap it up.
Look at that big disco ball he got.
Shut up. You know how hard it is to deal with adult autism? But Yvonne,
we got some good looking people on there now. We got the ugly people.
What are you talking about? What ugly people?
Yvonne and Renita.
Last week we got rid of the ugly person, but
exactly.
All right, Yvonne, you want to?
Who's the ugly person?
You.
He didn't get the memo. He didn't understand the assignment.
I'm ugly. That's okay.
No, you just cute challenged.
Cute challenge. I like that.
Go ahead, Yvonne. You can do that. Your Art of Black Psychology segment.
Yeah, do your segment.
Okay. So earlier when we were talking about the American dream, I said that we have to look at two different Americas. You know, the one for Black people and the one for white people, or anybody who identify as white or anybody who identify as Black. there are different rules, different sets. And what I'm learning about all of this is bridging that history, going back and collecting that history, understanding those policies that really put you in the position that you're in for your dream. What can you do and what can be established based on the color of your skin. All of these things are applications, all of your identifications, your sex, your gender, and they use that to determine whether or not you get to participate in the dream. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's psychology, right? And so when I'm talking about psychology, I understand two things. There's white psychology and there's Black psychology. And white psychology is racist. The APA, basically said that they were sorry about their racist practices. They're structural and functional in their nature. Mm-hmm. And the apology came October 29th, 2021. Look them up, the APA. And when you look at all the policies that they were racist on, it directly impacted Black people. And so when you think about your dream and how you're processing it, you got to know what happened in the past so you can move forward, present, and for your future. And so that's one of the things that I like to bring up on my page, and what I talk about in the art of Black psychology is dismantling all of these structural and functional things that said we were only able to get this and we're only able to get that based on what we know knowledge-wise. And the oldest university is Timbuktu, and how we learned from each other, so we need each other. We need to be communal. We need to be able to work together, because that's the only way we're going to survive. And that's Black psychology. Y'all follow my page, The Art of Black Psychology. I'm on Instagram, Monique Living. And I'm getting ready to do, some other things. Generation to Generation is a nonprofit that I'm currently working with. And we're going to be in the community, talking with the community, asking the community what they need instead of assuming what they need. I think that would go a lot greater when we involve people and actually ask them what they need, to pull up those bootstraps. Because the government is not giving it to us, and we got to save ourselves. So you don't the art of Black psychology. That's what that is.
You don't think the government can help us with our American dreams? So that's up to us.
They haven't been helpful thus far. If you check the history, the government has not been helpful to Black people. We've had to fight for everything we needed.
Not a Black president.
What does that mean? He wasn't just the president just for Black people. He's president for, the American dream. And the American dream for some people is a nightmare. I know it definitely was for me. I can trace my history back to 1916 when my great grandmother was born, and she was born on a plantation. So when we think about the government and how they process things, they put loopholes in everything for them, but there's no loopholes in it for us. We just got to go through the process.
But is that our fault? A little bit,
is what our fault?
That we're not involved in the process of making the loopholes.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. We do have to become civically engaged. We do have to know who's for us or against us. There is no vote blue no matter who. Yeah, no, dump that. Chicago is a Democratic-run city and it's been that way for decades. But if you look around in our communities, it's a lot of we got vacant land, we got we got abandoned buildings, we got schools that's closed, hospitals, everything, and Democrats, sanctioned it. So when we come up with politics and who we vote for, I say, now it's time to look at some Republicans and see what they're gonna do for us.
I'm not mad. I talk to anybody.
I know some that's running and they're Black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have conversations with them and see what they're willing to do for our community. And if they're sounding better than Democrats, then I'm going Republican, because I have no loyalty to a party that's keeping me in poverty. I have no loyalty to that.
This is true.
I know that's right.
This is true. I don't think I'll vote for either one of them anymore. But
Hey, you gotta pick.
I'm looking at third party candidates. Get at me, the Green Party Socialists or the Libertarian Anarchists. I'm going either full socialism or full anarchy. I'm not doing no more mixed sausage in between trash policy.
Mixed sausage.
All right,
I like
good
that.
word. Good word. So
good. I can't stand him.
I like the sound of that Miss Sausage.
Yeah.
Mixed sausage. That's like who's that? Nancy Pelosi. She's like, this is how you make the sausage. When she's talking about taking all the put all that corporate crap into
the Duchess of sausage.
What happened to Nandi, the woke report?
Ain't no woke report today, so be quiet.
The woke went back to sleep.
See, she was in. She was having issues. But all right. Anything else? Anybody got anything else to add to not Renita, Yvonne's out of back psychology? That's it. All right, Renita, give us some comedic relief. I know you forgot you were supposed to be here today. So
look, I just look like this. I'm 53. You can't expect me to remember shit. So I can barely remember that I can't laugh too hard, else I'll pee. So you can't expect me to remember everything.
Facts, girl.
I can't remember everything. Please.
What's that?
Women are such unique creatures.
Aren't we?
Can women stand up and pee?
Yes.
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 I mean, like if you gotta go on the highway off the side, what do y'all
do?
It
just say you want me to pee on you. Don't start making it. I will pee on you. I will stand over your ass and pee on you.
No, I mean, can you like
I can write your name?
Can it go like different directions and stuff, like guys?
If we turn our hips, just like when y'all turn y'all hips, yes.
Different directions. Men only pee different directions when after certain stuff dry up if you didn't get it out in the same time.
Oh
no, what? I'm saying, can it be directed?
I'm so.
Yes,
I thought he was talking about like
move my hips and.
You ever woke up and after sex?
No, I never pee on myself.
No, you don't pee on yourself. It's like your pee go different direction because you didn't get all of the out of there, out of your eye.
Excuse me, sweetie, you're the youngest one on here, so
everybody's done. All men done this. They
don't know what they can't.
I'm trying to say it without saying it. They're gonna make me get explicit.
They can't remember.
Like if you
talking about, Kaz?
I think he's talking about like if you put your hand over the hose.
No. You don't have to do that.
And you get two different directions.
Yeah, but that happens because you know what happens.
When you come. You shoot sideways or something. It goes a different way.
Yeah.
Right after you come, it's not gonna be a mainstream.
No. If you do it right afterwards, it'll pee all out. But like if you let it sit and dry, that's when it gets.
You need to pee after you ejaculate.
Yeah, you had to pee after. But if like you do one of them nights where you pass out and you go to the bathroom, you'd be like, oh, I pee.
I was just trying to find out because I've been on the road driving, and I was just wondering.
He's trying to find out because he can't see it.
What do women do when we just pull over to the side of the highway, and boom.
Okay, we can too.
No, because he wants to sit down. Is what he's saying.
They wear a poise.
No,
they put on one of them. When people get your age,
what you mean?
Put a depends on it.
I could go pee on the side of the highway too. Now what?
Do you have to squat, or can you do it standing up?
I'll Kelly all over your ass. Say it.
Can you do it standing up? That's all I want to tell you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, finish it.
Yes,
you had anything else, Renita? He threw you
I don't
off.
know. I don't know.
Threw her off.
I think guys would. Yeah, it's just like a guy. I mean, we can do that. Just open your lips and you can pee, just like a guy. That's what it is. I mean, I dated guys with little dicks like clits.
Where's the pee hole at? The pee hole's up closer, right? It's not in the back.
I don't need to know all of this. This is not a sex education class.
Yeah.
Where's the deodorant? I don't have it.
Who's that? Mute yourself, Quantis. That was Quantis' wife.
That was my mama. That would be incest.
She said he needs some deodorant.
Tired.
You in there punching? Not like you want to be alone.
What'd you say? Smell like you want to be alone?
I just had to eat.
That's a smell. Loneliness.
Loneliness does have a smell.
Abstinence.
What does it smell like? Vinegar mixed with
loneliness.
a little vinegary in it.
What does
Sound
loneliness
what?
smell like? That's new.
Please,
That
Bonnie, help me. Help me.
I don't
Help
know.
me.
I don't
I
know.
don't know either. You know,
All
it's
right.
been an interesting week. I'm okay. I
You
survived.
got you.
Let's wrap it up. Y'all killing me.
Please,
Let's do-
please, please, Quantis, stop talking.
Yes, we'll do the final thoughts. Kaz and Quantis, then we'll end it. Unless anybody else got something to say. You're good. I'm tired.
What do I have to say? I'm just eating. I'm hungry.
Okay, Quantis, final thoughts. Kaz has nothing to say. What if he's all talking
Final
about-
thoughts about the American dream. You want me to go, or you want Quantis to
Go. Yes, you didn't Quantis. That's what I said. You don't.
What was the name of the program?
The American dream.
Y'all
for
threw
me-
it all talking about shit that didn't have nothing to do with the American dream. But
For
it's cool.
me, I believe in going when you celebrate it, and I'm at a point in my life where I ain't trying to be no revolutionary. I'm just trying to be happy. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh, well, like I said, in order for the American dream to come true, you got to give somebody else a life. That's it.
That's it. All right.
You got to give somebody what?
A nightmare, he said. I have no idea.
Ooh, that sounds horrible.